and welcome to the podcast, So Casted. I am your host, Tara Lockett. Today, we are going to talk about the term value of the mind. You were never disposable. But before I get into that, as always, I'm going to remind you to stay aware and alert about mental health. We are here to help one another, and it is important for us to show those things that's necessary back to humanity to keep us afloat and keep us, motivated, right? So we don't really know what we're battling with in our minds individually. So it's very important for us to kind of show kindness toward one another because the truth is mental health is real and people battle with it every single day. Now, I want to share the wisdom dot with you this time, and that is by Tara, and I state, change. Mindset ushers the things you want to see changed. I'll say that again because it does take time to really understand and comprehend that we have all the control that we need here. We just have to learn how to activate that control. Now, value of the mind, and the truth is, you were never disposable. You are valuable just as a person and who you are as an individual. And so we have that equality based on who we are. We're a human being, and therefore we are valuable. But we must take time to value each things about us as a human. And the mind is something great to start with because, again, the mindset ushers the things that you want to see changed in your life. So at the end of the day, we have to ask ourselves, what exactly are you imagining in your mind that you want to see in your life? Now, remind you that it does take a process. So don't say like, oh, I see myself with $1,000,000. I don't see $1,000,000. Some things take time. But there are three things that I want to share with you that comes with that statement of that wisdom dot, I like to call it, about change. And that is mindset ushers the things you want to see change. The first thing that must happen for us to usher in that is usher out the things that aren't healthy for us. So it's important for us to cleanse those ideals that are not healthy. Now, I know firsthand how the mind can play a lot of games on you, especially off of the seeds that's already been planted as you developed in your life of growing and evolving. Actually, we're supposed to evolve at a certain point in life, and if we're not evolving, we're stuck. And so, as I call it, the marks of mental slavery, and that is we have to clear our mind of the clutter from the traumas, the toxicity, the dysfunction, quite frankly, hate, fear, and pain. Now, the second thing I want to share with you is about making a list of goals to reach. Now, I had to start off, we have to start off with those goals and use those goals to, get those levels. Kind of like when you're a kid, and I've seen this, I didn't do it, but seeing a friend when they, have those marks on their walls in their house, they took marks, hey, well, I'm growing here, boom, I'm growing here, boom, I'm growing here. And that's what that list is about, because the truth is, this is an elephant. This is not something that, just a little delicacy that we can grab and chew and eat. No, our mind and our experiences in life is our truth, our trust, and our treasure. And so we have to face our truth, and that's how we heal our minds, by confronting our past. And then we have to trust the process of life, and that's where we come in, living every day, because again, tomorrow is never promised to us. And then understanding what activation and change truly means in our lives. Now, after making that list, it is important for you to know with that list, once you clean out the negatives, then you get the opportunity to learn who you are, to usher in the things that you want in your life. And that is the third thing. Know what you want and then use your mind to imagine that. Now, I want to share a story with you. As a little girl, I wasn't aware of the word or the terminology manifestation, but I just remember being in negative situations and in my mind just wishing and thinking and seeing myself somewhere else. And the truth is, it works because along my pathway, when I had the opportunity to stop, look, and listen, and if you listen to the introduction episode, you know exactly what that means, the SLL. But when I stopped, looked, and listened, a lot of things became more aware of the images that I saw. The things that I wanted weren't what I wanted, it was what other people told me I wanted. And when you get the opportunity to love yourself, know yourself, then you get to know what you want, and then you get to use your mind to imagine those things in your life, which is why visualization is so key and important to our psychology as well as to our social, the sociology part of that in development in our lives. Remember, the goal is to value the mind. And when you value things like time and some people value money, right? But for to value something very tangible, we can start off with the mind, since the mind is the thing that helps us get to where we need to go. It seems that we need to put a little energy and understanding in knowing what exactly is going on with my mind. How do I value it? And it is important to be patient with yourself because the seeds that were planted in you in your development, those negative seeds, we have to go and dig those negative seeds up. And again, that's why I say cleanse out the ideals that aren't healthy, make a list of goals to reach that are healthy, and then know exactly what you want, and then imagine that in your life. This is one life that we have, and we must understand and know and value that mind. And we must know this without a shadow of doubt that we were never disposable. Sometimes in our mind, and I'll say this before I end this, sometimes the experience that we go through and our traumas make, our mind makes us feel like this is the direction that we continue to go in because it's so negative. And it is easy to follow a negative narrative because there's no work that's needed to put in it. But when you begin to value who you are, you begin to understand and know the value of your mind. So cast it, but don't you quit. And that's the theme. Don't you quit. We are comparing that psychological versus the sociology, and we cannot quit because we will get this right. So cast it because your mind matters and is the vision of the future. Imagine great.